Hi, everybody. A very warm welcome to each one of you for our webinar today. Thank you so much for being on time. I see that quite a bit of you have been waiting. We're going to give it a few minutes before we get started. But thank you. Super excited to see all of you here. If you can just go ahead while we're waiting for others to join us, what I always like to do before we start a webinar is to find out where you're logging in from, so which country. So if you can just go ahead and put that on the right hand side, you'll see either a chat or a question box. If you could just go ahead and put that there, say hi, so we can say hi back to you. We know your names. It would be lovely. Hello. Hi, Emmanuel. Hi, Wisdom. You want me to call you? Not as yet. Let me finish my webinar and then we can decide on what you need, and then, okay, I will call you accordingly and get you the help you need. If I know a lot of you are saying hello to me, which is wonderful. If you could just say where you are writing in from. Kwabena from Ghana, welcome. Nice to have you here. Emmanuel, where are you logging in from? Diana from Russia, lovely. Elechi or Eleki, Lucy, do you know how you'd say that? E-L-E-C-H-I. I'm just going to call it Salvation, I think.
It's okay.
Kathleen from Philippines. ¿Cómo está acá? Isn't that what you say in Philippines? I think that's what you say. Wisdom, you can't hear us? I think everyone else can. Are there people who can you just confirm whether you can hear me? All those who've been saying hi. Naveed from Pakistan, welcome. Yes, thank you, Saitosh, for letting me know. Thanks, Rochelle. I knew I could count on you. Okay, awesome. Lots of people can hear me. Just 2 more minutes and then we're going to get started, okay? Jamal from Ethiopia, Bipul from India, welcome. I should learn greetings in all these different languages. That's what I'll do next time. Okay. Exactly 1 more minute and we're going to get started. Hi, Atika from Pakistan. Hi, Sadhuni from Sri Lanka. Welcome. Abdul Koyum from Nigeria. Thank you for being here. Naveed, you've been waiting for a long time and you're hoping this will be good. I hope this will be good also. Yeah. So you and me on the same page already, which is great. Okay, all right. So since there's people from all over the world who are joining us today, I think it's only right that we go ahead and get started. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today on our very, very special webinar that we're going to be talking about admission requirements and student support services. Through the course of this webinar, we're going to be sharing a lot of important information of how you can be a part of the Berlin School of Business and Innovation. Now, for those of you, I think some of you who are already here have already pre-enrolled or paid a deposit. You already know about BSBI, which is fantastic. So congratulations. I really hope that we can see you on campus soon. But for those of you who are still deciding whether you should join us, you've just heard tidbits about us. Well, I hope this webinar, especially you, Naveed, will give you a little bit more clarity in making that decision, because this is such a great opportunity for you as students to pursue your education, your studies in Germany. We're going to be talking about the kind of admission process that we have, very simple compared to some of the other universities. And also, more importantly, the support that we offer before you get to Berlin or any of our other campuses, which also I will be touching upon, and also once you get to Berlin, the kind of support that you're going to be getting. Now, in order to help me share this information and to give you more clarity of the kind of support that we offer, I'm joined here by my dear colleague, Miss Lucy. I'm just going to call her Lucy. We've already established that I'm not going to say her second name. Lucy is the International Affairs Office Manager on the Berlin campus for BSBI. The International Affairs Office is a separate department within Student Services. Lucy is, for those of you who will be on campus soon, she is your go-to person about visas, about resident permits, and also all the different steps that you need to take once you get to Berlin. She also assists students when they are applying for their post-study residence permits. So very important and extremely important person, and face of course you can't forget. She's got a beautiful face that you need to remember. All right, so she works also with Sears, which is an immigration law firm that provides free consultation for all BSBI students. So Lucy, thank you. I know you're here in short notice, but we are very grateful that you're here. Thank you for being here with us today. All right,
thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm Sangeeta George, and I am the head of student support. And I will be talking a little bit more about what my team does and how we can support you before you get to Berlin, and how we can make that transition extremely smooth for you. So what I'm going to do is, for all of you who are visual learners, I'm going to go ahead and just share my screen, and we're going to go through a really quick PowerPoint. We're going to have time for questions, so don't worry. If you think of a question, you already have a question, go ahead and put it in the question box already, and we'd be happy to take it. Lucy, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Perfect. Okay. All right. Just give me one moment, please. Okay. So just to go really quickly through the agenda of what we're going to be talking about today, the perks of studying at BSBI. I think for those of you who don't know much, it's important for you to understand what we offer you as a business school, the admission requirements, the student support services before you get to Berlin, after you get to Berlin, visa services, which I think is of prime importance, and then some tips that you need to keep in mind while you're applying for a visa. Now, Lucy, I know a lot of you don't know, but she has an extremely busy schedule, and she actually did me a favor by being here, but I really wanted her here because I think as students, it's important you understand the kind of support that you will get once you get onto campus, especially with regards to your visa. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to allow Lucy to talk first and go through her little presentation, and then I'll take you through everything else. So bear with me here. What we're going to do is just go to what Lucy does. Lucy, over to you. Please, if you could let us students know the kind of assistance that your office provides for our students at BSBI, that would be great.
All right, thank you, Sangeeta. So as I said, or as Sangeeta said, we are here on the Berlin campus, and we can help you and support you with the following services. So our active support, so the visa guidance support, actually starts after your arrival. Yeah, we offer quite a lot of assistance to make your stay in Berlin as smooth as possible. It's not only about the residence permit application, as the name says, visa guidance. It's also about all the topics around the residence permit. Yeah, so that means the city registration, which we call Anmeldung in Berlin. This is actually the very first step after your arrival in Germany, and it's also the very first step in order to activate the immigration office to become responsible for your case. We also give advice on health insurance. So we have a public and a private system, which is quite complex. It's mandatory to have health insurance, and it's also a main requirement for your visa extension. We give advice on blocked bank accounts or normal bank accounts. So all the topics around your visa extension, which we call residence permit application. So let's say you hopefully find an accommodation in Berlin. This is quite challenging at the moment. So make sure you start your search for an accommodation at an early stage. If you secure an apartment in Berlin, the immigration authority, we call it Landesamt für Einwanderung, as you can see here on the slide. This is actually the immigration office which becomes responsible for you. We are partnering with a law firm called SERVS, as Sangeeta mentioned before, and this law firm is able to completely take over the process on your behalf, completely free of charge. Yeah, this is a unique service only for BSBI students, and I highly recommend their service, of course, because you don't have to book any appointments at the immigration office. You actually don't have to go there. You will be accompanied by the lawyer, and the lawyer will also be able to speak English with the authorities in case there are any questions about your case or whatever. So the main requirement to benefit from this law firm service is actually that you have found an accommodation in Berlin. And by the way, the law firm can also take over the city registration process for you. So you don't have to do anything actually. Yeah, it's a very unique service. What else do? We also give general information on post-study visas or post-study residence permit. That means job-seeking permits, work permits, as well as the application process. Yeah, and that's it.
Awesome. I'm going to go to your next slide. Yeah.
So once you have successfully graduated from BSBI, and this is actually a main requirement when it comes to a post-study residence permit or a post-study visa. So you actually can apply for a job-seeking residence permit. It's not mentioned here, but a job-seeking permit is issued for a maximum period of 18 months. It cannot be extended. And after a job-seeking residence permit, you usually apply for a residence permit for work purposes, which you can see here marked in orange. So this is actually if you have found a job related to your educational qualification. So just to give you an example, you cannot start working at McDonald's, yeah, with your university degree. Just to give you an example, because I'm indeed receiving these questions, yeah. So you need to find a job that is equivalent to your university degree. That's important. Yeah, your salary range must be compatible, and it is issued for up to 4 years, but it depends on the duration of your work contract. So if your work contract is for 2 years, you get a work permit for 2 years. If your contract is for 5 years or 4 years, the residence permit is issued for 5 or 4 years. Depends. It also depends on the visa officer, yeah, you will be talking to. So it's always a very individual decision. Then we have the EU Blue Card. So you can also look up information on the internet. Whenever you have the chance to apply for the Blue Card, go ahead. It's a residence permit for high-skilled professionals. You need to meet this requirement here. It's at the moment, and it changes yearly actually. At the moment, it's 58,000 euros per year. This is, so to say, the minimum salary in order to receive the Blue Card. And the big advantage of a Blue Card is actually that you qualify for a permanent residence permit, and that means an unlimited residence permit sooner. Yeah, this is a great advantage actually. So whenever you have the chance to apply for a Blue Card, go ahead. And then we have the permanent residence permit, but this is already a very advanced stage. Yeah, so after your studies, you will never be able to apply for a permanent residence permit because it comes with a lot of requirements, as you can imagine. For example, 5 years of paying taxes and health insurance, 2 years for a Blue Card already. Here you can see the advantage. So if you have had the EU Blue Card for 2 years, you can immediately apply for a permanent residence permit, but also here provided you have German language skills, because the immigration office cannot issue a permanent residence permit, an unlimited residence permit for a person who does not speak German. I think that's clear.
So Lucy, just to clarify that students understand, so when they get on campus, what you will be primarily helping them with will be the residence permit for work purposes, right?
When students come here, that's a good point. When students come here, they are still studying, of course, or just start studying. So they actually apply for a residence permit for study purposes.
For study purposes.
For study purposes,
Okay, and that's something that you will help them with, right? Assistance is given with that.
Exactly.
And also, I just wanted to make a mention for those of you who, I know you've said that you're logging in from different countries, but if you are in Berlin or anywhere in Germany or Europe, you help those students also, right? Lucy, it's not only just international students. If they need anything, is there a possibility that they could come and talk to you with regards to visas?
Of course they can. Yeah.
Okay.
Our doors are always open.
Yes, I know. So it doesn't mean she's only restricted to talking to international students, even though her job profile has that. She will, if you are in country also and you need any kind of assistance to make sure that you're there legally and all your paperwork is in place, please go visit with Lucy. Anything else that you want to add, Lucy?
No, I'm not sure if there are any questions. I'm happy to respond to questions.
I was just going to tell everyone. So audience, if you have any kind of questions for Lucy, please feel free to ask it now because she's not going to be with us till the end. Lucy, if you can just go ahead and put your email address in the chat box, maybe also that's another way that students can get in touch with you.
Of course. The thing is that I don't see the chat box. That's the thing.
Okay.
But I can also tell the email address to you. It's just visaguidance@berlinsbi.com.
Okay, so then I will just put it in for them so that everyone can see it. Visa guidance at BerlinSBI.com. So students, if you have any questions, if you can't think of a question right now, please feel free to write to Lucy. You can do this. You don't have to wait till you get on campus. You can get in touch with her before, and then she will be happy to help you. I think there are some questions that are coming in already. Lucy, can I just read them out for you?
Please go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, how can you help me apply for a student visa? Okay, that I will do because you need to do that before you get to the country. Okay, so Atika, I'm gonna talk about that. How can we come over there? Lucy, you want to answer that question for Wiz?
How can you? Okay, it's a very general question. So once you have received your German entry visa for study purposes issued by the consulate or the embassy in your home country or your current country of residence, you need to arrange your trip. And in the best case, you should have found accommodation in Berlin already before. Yeah, because the housing situation is very challenging at the moment. So make sure that you arrange your trip. Once you have found accommodation, you come over here, register your address with the help of the law firm if you like, and they will also help you to apply for your student residence permit. As long as you're waiting for your entry visa to be issued, by the way, if I can mention that, you are allowed to study online as long as your entry visa application is ongoing.
Yes, I will be talking about that. Great. How can someone who is still a student get a permanent residency?
That's not possible. That's not possible. After you have finished or graduated from BSBI, you apply for a job seeking permit, a work permit, then you must have worked for several years, and it also depends on the work contract. And then if you have German language skills, you can apply for a permanent residence permit. It's a quite complex process, but it's possible.
Yeah, so I think it says in the last box, you know, what the pre-requirements are in order to get a permanent residency.
Yeah. But there are also different types of permanent residence permits.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have to check that individually. Yeah.
Bipul was asking, what's the period of the post-study work visa?
Post-study work visa depends on your contract. If you have a work contract for 4 years, you get a residence permit for 4 years, but the job seeking permit, so let's say you have graduated and you have not yet found a job, you qualify for a job seeking permit. This has a maximum validity of 18 months. so 1.5 years, and it cannot be extended. You need to find a job within this period of time.
Right. Okay. Cynthia, who's asking if he needs to pay for your visa services, Lucy?
For the visa service, for the search service, no, it's completely free of charge as long as you will not be withdrawn from BSBI.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that makes absolute sense. Are we allowed to work while studying at BSBI?
Yes, it has, of course, a work limitation because the immigration office wants you to focus on your studies and not on work. So you can work for 120 full days or 240 half days per year. 1 year means starting from the 1st of January and ends on the 31st of December.
Okay, perfect. There was another one. Hello, Miss Lucy. Once we already have a residence permit for study purposes, are we allowed to have a job while studying? It's pretty much the same thing, right?
Pretty much the same, yeah.
Okay, there's so many questions that have already come in.
I'm not surprised.
Okay, lots of it I can take later because I'll be covering it, so I won't ask. I'll save your time. Okay, about admissions, how will we get validated offer letter? Okay, I think that's it. Is there any other questions related to visas once you get to Berlin? I'm going to wait for like a minute. Otherwise, I know some of you have asked for Miss Lucy's email address and I have put it down. Rehan, no, you cannot get Miss Lucy's phone number, but as of now, you can write into her and then I'm sure she'd be happy to help you with that. Okay. Is the visa sponsored? As I think the question is whether we sponsor students. You want to answer that, or you want me to?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I mean, you can call it a sponsorship because BSBI will be mentioned in your entry visa as well as in your residence permit here.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, because it'll be said everywhere. Your letter of acceptance will have that. But I will talk about how we can help you before you get to Berlin with the entire visa process. So it's more the wisdom. You've been asking me that same thing. So I will let you know. Okay, I think that's it, Lucy. If there anything else that comes up, maybe I'll send them to you later, and then all the students' email addresses I have, so you could just respond to them later. Yeah,
of course, I'm happy to help. Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here with us today. Really appreciate it. Super helpful.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Okay, thanks, Lucy. All right, students, so what we're going to do is I'm just going to take you back a little bit on the PowerPoint so that I hope a lot of you have understood the kind of services that we offer. But I just want to start with just talking about the perks of studying at BSBI. I know a lot of you are asking me questions with regards to how do I get there and what's the application process and what do I need to be paying. I'm going to be covering all of that for you. So just be patient with me, and hopefully a lot of the questions that you've already asked, I will share that information with you and we can cover it. So first of all, we're just talking about our campus at Berlin. We have a new campus called Altapost, and it's very centrally located. Lots of transportation links have been there. It is the energy in that side of town is beautiful. It really is student-centric. It's a great area to be in. We have excellent student support that we are going to be talking about. You already saw a glimpse of what Lucy and the International Affairs Office can do for you. I'm going to tell you about the student support that you will get prior to getting there. I know applying to a university can be extremely overwhelming, and that's why I think it's important that you understand this even before you get onto campus. We have extremely flexible timetables that we want to support you, because a lot of you are coming in to work and to study. So we will be sensitive to that and make sure that you have a timetable that will allow you to study and work at the same time. We have accredited and globally recognized partner universities. So if you all have not done your research on BSBI, give me 1 minute just to explain who we are, all right? So basically, BSBI is validated and recognized through our partnership with 3 universities. It's the University for the Creative Arts, Columbia University, Chicago, and Uni Nettuno. So University of the Creative Arts is in the UK. Columbia University Chicago is in Chicago, and Uni Nettuno is in Italy. So for a lot of you who are not able to afford going to any of these places, or who can't actually get there at this point of time, we're giving you an opportunity to come to Berlin and study with these partner universities that we have. And what's amazing is that when you graduate, you get your certification from whichever university you choose. Okay, so these universities can be found in the ANABEN database with the H+ status granted to institutions recognized in Germany. All of our courses have been validated and approved by the Berlin Senate, which is the executive body in the city of Berlin. So you don't need to worry. A lot of people will ask me, oh no, would it be okay for me to come? We've stopped getting questions like that. A great way for you to understand that maybe is to go onto our website. There's lots of alumni testimonies and student testimonies of what our students are studying right now, where they're placed right now. So just be rest assured that this is a great learning opportunity for you. We have wonderful networking events. That's one thing I love about the BSBI campus in Berlin. Lots of things that are happening, whether it's through the student council, whether it's through the careers office, whether it's open days, whether it's a freshers party. There's lots of things. We have lots of companies that come in to meet with our students. Just a couple of weeks ago, I did a webinar with our career services office, and they were talking about how they had Ernst & Young on campus in order to meet with all of our students. So lots that is constantly happening all year through on campus. We have free German lessons. So important for you to have that. I would definitely recommend that you choose places wherever you go to study, that especially if you're going to look at Germany, that you have German classes available to you, because you're going to at some point need it when you go into the workplace. Our career services is fantastic. We have online resources. We have information on peer support schemes. We have career workshops, interview tips, feedback on job applications, and so much more. And what's amazing is all these services that I'm going to be talking about, which is on campus, the minute that you register as a BSBI student, you don't even have to get onto campus. If, say, for example, you've registered with us for this upcoming intake or for the May intake, and then you realize, I need help to put my CV together, I need to find a job, you can avail of all of these services online. You have equal rights over all of these things like career services as equal as someone who's on campus. Okay, so all you need to do is go through the application process, get yourself registered for a particular intake, and then all of this, including speaking to Lucy and what you need to do. Sorry, I clicked that by mistake. Okay, online resources and virtual student lounge. So BSBI has integrated the virtual learning environment into the heart of their teaching and e-learning program. So for those of you who don't know, even before you get onto campus, you can start online with us. And the minute you get your visa, you can come, which I always recommend to all my students, because you don't want to wait that long. And also when you're applying for your visa, when a visa officer sees that you've already started your education and started a course already, the chances of you getting your visa is much, much higher. Okay, of course, there are so many other documents that they're going to look at, but it kind of validates your purpose of coming into Germany. So definitely an option that I would ask you all to take into consideration. I will tell you how you can get in touch with us if you want to talk to us about the admission process. We can put you in touch with a student advisor who will be happy to help you. Opportunity for post-study German visa, Lucy's already talked about that. And of course, excellent teaching standards. I've had the opportunity to speak with some of the professors, the kind of courses that BSBI offers, and the kind of expertise and experience our professors come with. I think you're in for a really, really good student journey. Now, going into the application process, all you need to do, see, 5 simple steps, and 4 and 5 are not even things that you need to do. Okay, so the first one, if you get on to our website, which is berlinsbi.com, super easy. Berlin, as even if you put Berlin School of Business and Innovation and you look for it, you'll see berlinsbi.com come up. You can go there and complete an application and provide your supporting documents. Once you do that, it takes about 10 days for us to come back to you. And let me tell you, your admission decision is purely dependent on the kind of documents that you give us. All right. So just keep that in mind. We can give you a conditional offer or an unconditional offer based on the kind of documents that you give us. Once everything is submitted and you get an unconditional offer, then we will give you a letter of acceptance. All you need to do is accept our offer of admission. We'll get you all your admission letters that you need in order to apply for a visa. And step 5 is applying for a visa. All right. So I know it sounds super simple. It really is super simple. There are people to help you fill out that application form if you need to. So once you decide on what course you need to do and which site that you're looking at, which campus you're looking at, I couldn't find the word, which campus you're looking at, then we can help you from then on. But what you need to do as a student is make sure that you have all your documentation ready. So if you're thinking of joining us for an upcoming intake, say May or July or October, I would totally recommend that you start to put everything together, and we're happy to give you the list of documents. Look at what your English requirements are and what you need to do. So start to plan early and start the admission process as soon as possible. Okay, so just for me to get an idea and just to break it up a little bit, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a poll right now, and I'm sure everyone will be able to see it on the right hand corner of your screen. I want to know which intake are you kind of looking at. Okay, so I can't run that one because it has old ones. Let's talk about what level of programs are you looking at. Are you looking at a bachelor's degree? I know some of you asked me questions with regards to a bachelor's degree. So I would like to get an idea of how many of you are looking for bachelor's and how many of you are looking for a master's. Okay, so as of now, and I'm going to give it a couple of more seconds, a lot of you, actually 43% looking for bachelor's, 58% looking for masters. Okay, I'm just waiting for some of you, some more people to vote. Okay. All right. So I think it's not equal, but then more master's students than bachelor students. Thank you for answering that question for me. Also, what factors are most important to you when you are choosing an institution or a university? So I just want to get an idea of this also, because it kind of gives me an idea of the kind of students I'm talking to. So location, cost, extracurricular activities, and academic programs. What's most important, or what are the factors that are most important? I'm sure some of you are wishing that you could choose all 4, right? But what would be your topmost factor? Okay, very interesting. So a lot of you are saying cost. I'm going to give it a couple of more seconds. Cost is in first place, academic programs in second place, location in third place. Extracurriculars nobody cares about right now, which is interesting, very interesting. But 61% of you, out of all of the ones who've answered, 61% of you are looking at costs. That's something that I don't want to get into details, but we do offer a lot of discounts for our students, regardless of the program, regardless of where you are applying from. So I would definitely urge you to get in touch with us so that we can put you in touch with a student advisor who can offer you that advice. It also depends on what you've studied, your academic qualifications, your academic achievements. All of that put together will give you a pretty good discount that will make it reasonable for you to come and study with us. Okay, all right, so thank you for answering those. What we're going to do right now is move on to talking about the kind of support that we offer. So before you get on to campus, so we talked about the admission process, but that's not all, right? So once you fill out an application form, what you need to do, I know some of you ask me whether you need to pay a deposit. Yes, you do. You need to pay a deposit of 2,000 euros after you fill out an application so that we can help you with the rest of the process. We can get you all the documents that you need. So you just need to pay the 2,000 euros. And here is where I'm going to be talking about what my team does in order to help you transition from your home country to Berlin. So first of all, once you do that and you've submitted some of your documents, somebody from my team will call you and tell you about the remaining documents that are needed, whether they're authentic or not. So for those of you applying from India right now, there is a process called APS that you need to go through. So that will help you with the verification of your documents. Once you get yourself an APS certificate, then then we will move on to the next steps of whatever else you need to do. Excuse me. We also give you guidance with regards to how you need to start a block bank account. For those of you who are not familiar with this terminology, what you need to do is you need to start a bank account in Germany with 11,208 euros. This is something that you need to show when you go in for your visa. You need to send proof a block bank account. This is mandatory for every student that goes into Germany. And then what they do is every month on month, for 1 year, they will send you a little bit of money from this account. Okay, so it is for your benefit. So make sure that you have this money. Find a sponsor if you can. Find someone who can support you with regards to this, especially bachelor students. Get this money together so you can start a block bank account, which you need when you're applying for a visa. Accommodation, you heard what Lucy said. It can sometimes be a little bit challenging, but I think through all of this, students, what you need to keep in mind is, or what is key, is planning ahead, or planning a few months before you decide that you want to come to Berlin or to BSBI to study with us. Accommodation is there. It's just that it's going to take you time. It also depends on your budget, whether you want to share with somebody, whether you want a single room, whether you want a studio, whether you want a one-room apartment, whatever it is, it's all there. It's a matter of taking that time in order to find what is best suitable for you, the location, something close to campus, something that'll be easily accessible for you to go back and forth. It is there. I know lots of students who've started early and found these places. We have an accommodations department on campus that can send you possible links based on your budget, based on your preferences. Transition to Berlin, we also help you kind of get used to or give you information about Berlin, right? For example, like the weather. I think that's such a huge factor that students don't take into consideration, and how you need to be prepared with the kind of clothes that you pack, or how much money you need to have in order to budget for transportation and your food, and what you do, like other expenses over the weekend, and if you need to shop, and if you need to find an accommodation, all of that. We help you kind of put all of those things in place so that you're prepared by the time you come to Berlin. We don't want any shocks for you by the time you come there. And of course, visa guidance and compliance. Before you get to Berlin, and I want to spend some time talking about this because this seems like the most important step. A lot of you, I know, probably filled out an application, probably paid a deposit, or now you're thinking, you know what, I want to be there by May or by October. I know how to do this, but I also highly recommend that you also start on your visa process. Okay, so I'm going to go into how we will help you with the visa, but let me talk about what kind of support is given to you once you get onto campus. So I talked about before you get onto campus, and then once you get onto campus, Lucy already talked about visa guidance and compliance and how she and her office can support you. Like I said, there is an accommodations office on campus, an accommodations department. I would urge you to get in touch with them before you get there. There's pastoral care. What that means is counseling. For those of you who are leaving your home country for the first time, or your parents for the first time, or your families initially, maybe you need that support. And there is a very, very strong support that is given to you on campus through our pastoral care. Career services is fantastic. Like I told you, there's lots that happens with regards to the career services. So even before you get there, you can get your CV together. They help with interview tips. They will help you find jobs on campus, off campus. There were internships before, when we were, even through COVID, actually, we were offering online internships that our students could do. So it is a very, very active department, and a lot of support is provided to you in order to get you prepared for the workplace. And like I said, lots of student engagement. It's not always, doesn't always have to be academic, and I love that. We have a very, very strong student council, both for masters and for bachelors, and who organize different activities through the week, through the weekends, because we want to keep students more engaged. The whole idea, and what I love about BSBI, is we want you to have a holistic education. You're not just coming there just to study and leave and go find a job. We want you to experience life. We want you to make connections with people who are on campus, with different companies that are available, with job vacancies. So many perspectives that we need to put together, so that by the time you finish studying with us, you are a better version of yourself. And that's what I think each one of you want. Okay, so this is all the support that we offer post you getting to Berlin. Now, I really, really want to touch upon this, because this is so important, and this is something that my team helps with. Please keep in mind, we're not immigration officers, we're not visa consultants, but what we do is merely give you advice and recommend what you need to do. So based on the country, I saw a lot of you from Ghana, from Nigeria, from Pakistan, from Russia, who are all applying, right? What we will provide for you once you've decided that you're going to apply for your visa. And keep in mind, boys and girls, it takes time in order for you to get a visa. It's not a one-day process. It's anywhere between 4 weeks to 1 year. I know people who've been waiting for 1 year, especially from Nigeria, and there, that takes time. So please plan ahead, so that we can start looking, we can help you get all your documents. So based on where you're applying from, we'll provide you with a document checklist. We will also check your documents. Once you get everything together, you can send it to our visa officers, who will check your documents. They also prepare you for your visa appointment. They might tell you what kind of questions, and that's where the mock interview is so important. And more than the questions that are asked, I think what's more important is how you're going to respond to those questions. Okay, so they will recommend on how you can respond to those questions. God forbid your visa gets rejected, we will help you with the reapplication. So we will tell you how the remonstration, we will help you through that also, the process. We will help you get all of your letters of acceptance, both in German and English. If you need your accommodations support letter, language support letter, physical presence letter, late arrival letter, all of these different letters that you will need, it's us who will help you get all of those. So that's why I will keep saying it, and I'll continue to say it. Please plan ahead. If you have any questions with regards to how you need to go about it, especially for the May intake, even February intake, by the way, if some of you want to start online, we're still open. Okay, so if you want to start with us already and get to Berlin by in the next couple of months, we're happy to help you with that. We've already talked about this. Lucy already talked about the assistance provided in Berlin, and also the post-study work permit. What I just want to ask you to keep in mind is some tips while you're applying for a visa, okay? Because this is just common mistakes that I don't want you to do. So I'm giving you a heads up of what you should not be doing. First of all, fill in the form carefully. Take your time, get someone to check it and recheck it. Very, very, very important for you. The second, check for regular updates or requirements. This is also quite important, because things are constantly changing. I think everything is normalizing now. we're encouraging students to be on campus and apply for their visas, because you really want to have that college experience, right? So constantly check for updates of the requirements of the country that you're applying from. Keep in mind the fees. If you so what we recommend is that you pay your first year's fees, because again, it's another document. The receipt of that is something that will hold really good. For some countries like Pakistan, it's mandatory for you to do that, but some countries it's not. But what I would recommend is that you go ahead and do that if you can afford it, to show proof that you've already paid for the first year and already started your course, which looks fantastic, in order for you to get your increasing your chances of getting your visa. Go through the mock interview process, be prepared, have mentally prepared the kind of responses that you're going to be giving before you go in for an interview. Make sure you have your requirements for your English proficiency. A lot of times the students are not they have not planned ahead in order to make sure that they have the English proficiency requirements, because maybe you're coming back to study after 10 years or 15 years because you've been working or starting a family, whatever it might be, right? So make sure that you have your English proficiency requirements based on the partner university that you are choosing, and your statement of purpose. That is basically, I don't know if you know what that is, but it's an essay that you need to write about why you're coming into Berlin, what are you wanting to study, why do you want to study what you want to study, what are your long-term career plans, what are your ties to your home country, things like that. You need to be saying in your statement of purpose. We're happy to help you, give you tips on how you need to write it. No, we cannot write it for you, but we're happy to help you write it. Okay, so keep that in mind. So these are some things. Make sure no spelling mistakes. One of the biggest things that I've seen is just when you're filling out the form or writing your statement of purpose, be very, very mindful that you're not making any grammar mistakes, spelling mistakes, because that's not going to be taken well. All right. Now, before I close, because I want to leave about 10-15 minutes to take all your questions, because I saw so many questions come in, I would really quickly want to talk about our international experience opportunities that we're giving. So Berlin is not, for those of you who are just learning about BSBI, our Berlin campus is not the only campus that we have. We have two other campuses, Barcelona, which is our newest location. So our first intake for Barcelona will be in October 2023. Any of you who are interested, would love to share this information with you. We have 3 programs that we're starting with. We will be adding much more programs by Feb 2024. So we have the Global MBA, we have the MA in Strategic Marketing, and the MA in Logistics, all run by Uninetuno, that we're going to have in Barcelona. Paris, we already have our programs that are running. We have students who've applied for visas. Maybe you're coming from a country where it's going to take you a long time in order to get your German visa. Here's an option for you where you can start with us on either of these campuses, Barcelona or Paris. Spend 1 year there in order to study any of these programs that you see on the screen, and then during that study period, while you're in Barcelona or in Paris, we will help you get your visa for Germany, and then you can move to Berlin and complete your education and still be eligible for your post-study work visa. Isn't that fantastic? So why this is great. In Paris, what we have is we have the BSc International Business and Management with UCA, MA Tourism, Hospitality and Event Management with UCA, Global MBA with UCA, and then MA in Innovation and Entrepreneurship with CUC, and MBA with CUC. If you just take a minute just to look at these programs, right? These are all upcoming careers. If you look at the kind of job vacancies that are available around the world, it's in international business or tourism and hospitality or innovation and entrepreneurship, logistics, strategic marketing. So very, very recent and what do I say, the programs that are needed for the workplace right now, which also exposes you to 21st century skills. All right, so keep that in mind when you're choosing all of these. You can find more information on our website if you go, all the whole range of all the programs that are offered in Berlin and also in Barcelona and Paris. Definitely urge you to look at all of these. I've written 4 grades for why these new locations or why Barcelona and Paris is an amazing international opportunity. First of all, great locations. Come on, who doesn't want to be in Barcelona or the most romantic city in the world, Paris, right? Great locations, great learning outside the classroom. Remember, I told you about having a holistic learning experience. Here's an opportunity for you. Not that Berlin doesn't have it, but I'm just saying, if you are waiting for a time in order to reduce that waiting period of getting to Berlin, start on one of these campuses, because there's so much history, so much culture, so much learning that happens outside of the campus also. It looks wonderful on your CV. What I forgot to mention to you is that I'm a career counselor by profession, and I know I've helped hundreds of students with their CVs. And I'm telling you, when an employer sees that you've had a multi-learning international experience, right, it looks so much richer, because as a student it changes who you are, because you've had all of these various international experiences, whether as a bachelor's student or a master's student. So it looks wonderful on your CV, and of course a great way to get started. So don't wait any longer, right? Because I'm telling you, if you already have gaps in your CV, it does not look good if you're going to have even more gaps. So try and reduce those and start with one of these programs if any of these are of interest to you. Or what you can do is think about joining us. For those of you who think, oh no, I'm maybe in country and I want to start right now, February we're still open. Otherwise you can join us in May, or you can join us in July or in October, which actually leads me to a really quick poll, and then I'm going to take some questions. So let's I just want to get an idea of which intake you all are looking for. So when I say February, we're talking about March, or May or October, we're talking about this year. So I just want to know. So a lot of you for May, mostly for October. I love that, because you know why? We're in March now. April, May, June, July, August, September, 6 months before you can get started. Okay, so I know a lot of you are looking at October, which is fantastic. Don't wait any longer. I really, really want you to get in touch with us. Ask your questions, fill out your application, pay that deposit, get your documents, and apply for your visa. All right. I know it's easier said than done, but trust me, like I said before, if you plan ahead, I know when you are, thank you. I'm just going to close this. Thank you. I think I will run one more poll. We've already talked about all of this. And then there's one question that I want to ask you at the end before we close. Okay. So students, when we are looking at a university, there's so many things that we need to keep in mind, right? You need to make sure that it's the best fit for you. As a student, you just don't want to go anywhere because all your friends have gone there. You want to make sure that the university that you choose is the best fit for you. You want to look at the courses that are being offered. I told you, these are courses that are going to equip you for the kind of jobs that are available today. So that's also very, very important. Pricing, when we ran that poll, a lot of you said cost is number one. You want to be able to go to a place where it's affordable, but you're already being exposed to a quality course. And most importantly, I think support. And that's why we were here to talk about just not the support once you get onto campus. And I know a lot of universities around the world are like that. Once you decide you're going there, you're pretty much on your own. You got to figure it out, whether it's what documents you need to submit, how you apply for your visa, how you find your accommodation. But here is a business school that is offering you all of that support even before you get to Berlin, and we will continue to support you once you get there. So fear not, regardless of where you're coming from, whichever country you're coming from, as long as I told you what your job is, right? Get your documents together, make sure you have them. If you're a master's student, make sure you have your bachelor's degree, your English proficiency requirement, most important. If you don't have that, if you're not coming from maybe an IB curriculum or from an English medium, then I would recommend that you do the IELTS. There are different options that you can do. We can tell you what is expected of you and what our minimum requirements are for all of our programs, but you need to talk to that. So with a little bit, how many times have I already said that you need to plan? Not enough, right? So with a little bit of planning from your side and all the support from our side, trust me, it's going to be a smooth process. So don't wait till the last minute. We want you to have a really, really good student journey even before you join BSBI. So please do get in touch with us. If you have any questions, now would be the time to get in touch with us. What I'm also going to do is share with you how you can get in. I've got my email address here. It's ask@berlinsbi.com. You can also get in touch with us on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. We also have a YouTube channel that you can go. You can watch testimonies. There are professors that are talking. There are other webinars that might be of help to you. And our handle is @BerlinSBI. Super easy. Everything revolves around @BerlinSBI. Okay. So let's go to the questions. I think a lot of you might have questions already. Okay, let me go right to the beginning, and then I promise you I will take as many as I can. And then if I don't, then I will write into you, I promise. Okay. Okay. So if you don't, Albert, you're asking if you don't have anyone to support us, will the school take care of us? I'm not sure if you mean financially. We will take care of you when you're on campus with regards to your academics. I talked about pastoral care. I talked about a great community which is on campus. It's very close-knit. Everyone's close-knit in those terms. Yes, we can also see the kind of scholarships or discount that you're eligible for, but I would recommend that you do find support, either a sponsor in Berlin or from your home country that can help you financially also. Do I have to make a deposit after submitting my application? Yes, 2,000 euros. Is there scholarships for some of those coming from underdeveloped countries? So Aaron, he's already left, but I will write into him with regards to that. I would recommend that you, like I said, there's different qualifications that you need, or criteria or eligibility criteria that you need for our discounts, and it's on a case basis. So if you can get in touch with us, then we can help you. Atika, I hope I've explained to you how you can apply. The best way would be either to write into me and tell me you want someone to call you, or you can get onto our website and you will see a little tab saying apply now. Okay. Okay, a lot of these are work visa related, which we've already taken. Neetanga, I've already put Lucy's email address there, so hopefully you'll be able to write into her. Can we use a block bank account for visa interview at the German and you need to show that you've started a block bank account, but I would also recommend that you show you have other a little bit more savings that you've put together in order that you will probably need for your accommodation, food, boarding, lodging, transportation, things like that. So you can't just have a block bank account. You need to have a little bit more that you can show. Okay. Okay. Will there be accommodation, Emmanuel? We don't have accommodation on campus, but like I said, we do have an accommodations department that can help you find accommodation based on your budget. Okay. How do we make a reservation before getting there? Tayo, you've already left, but I hope you'll write into us. IELTS is important for admission. Rehan, it really depends on where you studied, what your qualifications are already. There's different options other than IELTS that are there, but I would recommend IELTS. If you can go ahead and do the IELTS, nothing like it. Okay. Are we allowed? Okay, we've already. Are we allowed to work? We've already taken that. Lucy's house. Okay, Sadhuni, if you could write into me, my email address is ask@berlinsbi.com. I'm going to get you the details that you're asking about IELTS, and because of the gap that you have in your education, and what we can do, we can definitely help you, and we can find a resolve for this. So don't worry about it. I think we're all lifelong learners. So get in touch with me and I can give you the information that you want. Okay. Wisdom, you're asking, will you be giving us the visa? No, we'll give you all the letters that you need in order to help support you get your visa, all right, which is what exactly you need. But Wisdom, you need to be applying from your home country for your visa, okay? Shahid, you're asking what's the tuition fee per semester. So it depends on the program and the location that you choose. We also have discounts up to 40% that we're giving right now for students, especially if you pay your first year fees. We are giving discounts up to 40, so anywhere between, I think, 15 to 40% is what you can be eligible for. All depends on the program and the location that you're looking at. So Mesbah, Shine, I just answered the question with regards to discounts. So Bipul, you're asking how does BSBI assist with getting jobs after the course completion? Like I said, we do have a career services department. It's extremely active, extremely supportive of all students who come onto campus. We find out the kind of job that you want to do, the experience that you have. We help you put together a CV that will help you find jobs, whether it's on campus, mostly off campus. So yes, we do assist in finding you a job. Okay. Shahid, you're saying you have a 10-year-old daughter. Can she come with you? Yes, I think you can apply for a family visa, but what I would recommend is for you to come first, find a place that you can stay in, and then you can bring your family over. But otherwise, you're going to have to be applying for her visa along with you. It's something that I can get my visa officer to get in touch with you about, and because we'll have to look at schooling and all of that for her. So that's a whole different thing. So I would recommend that you come in first as a student and then bring in your family later. Okay. Niatanga, you're asking about the courses that are available in BSBI. Let me do this, okay? Let me stop sharing my screen. Okay. All right. So we have a whole range of courses, and we're coming up with different other different courses, Niatanga. If you get onto our website, you'll be able to see what these courses are. But I can give you a brief overview of what our courses are. I'm just going to pull it up on a calendar of programs. So we have international business and management. These are all at the bachelor's level. We have tourism and hospitality, computer science and digitalization. In the postgraduate level, we have global MBA, we have digital marketing, finance and investment, data analytics, information technology management, innovation and entrepreneurship. We are also going to be starting psychology, which I'm super excited about. We also have energy management, engineering management, and also logistics. We have shorter amount of courses that we are offering, or a limited amount of courses that we are offering from our Paris and our Barcelona campus. But what you can do, like I said, is start there. If any of the ones that we are offering in Paris and Barcelona are of interest to you, you can start on that campus and then you can move. Okay. All right. So Naveed, you're talking about completing your degree in MBA in 3.5 years. I'm not sure what your question is, so if you can let me know what your question is. Albert, I would recommend you're saying you're from Ghana. Start your admission process first, And while you do that, we can start your visa application, because for your visa application, you need all your documentation from BSBI. So once we know that you are a student that you've taken in, we give you an unconditional offer and your letter of acceptance. There is a study agreement that you need to sign. For all of you who are here, I would highly recommend that you go through that study agreement properly. Once you sign it, then we can help you with a number of other things of how you need to be paying, all of those documentation you need to take in for your visa application. So Albert, start on your admission process first, and then we can tell you what you need to do for your visa. Okay. Vikas, you left. David's left. Atika, let me know how I can help you. Okay. Okay. Lucy is already gone, but I would like to apply for, yeah. Sadhuni, I've already told you how to get in touch with me. Okay. How can we get in touch with the school when we get there? Emmanuel, you're going to have someone who supports you from BSBI till you get to BSBI, and once you get onto campus, there is a student support office that can help you, or student services office that can support you. So don't worry, we're literally holding your hand from when you fill out that application form till you actually start your classes. Okay. I hope that makes sense. I've already answered. Bipul, I've answered your question. Atika, thank you for your email address. As for you're asking, once I applied for MA, can I change it to a BA degree? I'm not sure why you would do that, because if you're applying for a master's degree, then you stick to a master's program. Okay, you don't want to come back into a bachelor's unless you don't have a bachelor's. If you don't have a bachelor's, then I would recommend you do your bachelor's program first, or your bachelor's degree first, and then move into your master's. Atika, I've already gone through the application process. So I'm happy to help you. If you write into me, I put my email address down, I can get someone to support you. Okay. So a lot of you are looking for, a lot of you put your poll answers here. Very interesting. Charles, you're asking, do people in Berlin have to pay the 2,000 euros for application? Yeah, anyone who fills out an application needs to do that. Okay. Sachin, you want to apply for the DBA program? That's our only doctorate program that we have. Fantastic. Please write into me and I can put you in touch with someone who can help you start on your application process. Okay. Fauzia, you're asking, is it a deposit? 2,000 euros, not 200 euros, 2,000. All right. Sachin, I've already told you. The visa is not free. When you're applying Wisdom, when you're applying from your home country, you have to pay for your visa. So Santa Yehu, you want the document requested to apply, and about fees. So I think our marketing will be sending you, from once we finish this webinar, we will be sending you the PowerPoint, so you can go through all the information over there. It has my email address, it has the website, it has everything that you will probably need. So a lot of what you need, Santane, you will be sent to you already soon after this. Okay. Tida, I've already sent, I've put my email address down, so go ahead and take it from there, from the chat box. Tida, I've put it down already. Naveed, I would suggest that you write into me, I think because you're looking for the doctoral program, write into me and then I'm happy to help you with your application. Okay. Perfect statement of purpose. We could send you a sample, Bismarck, if you wanted, but I would recommend just having a conversation with one of us, Bismarck, and we can tell you what points you need to have in your statement of purpose. Because if I send you a sample, chances are you might just write whatever's in the sample, and I don't want that. I want you to be authentic. I want you, your true self, to come out in your statement of purpose, but we can definitely help you with the points that need to go in. Okay. Saitosh, you're asking, is it advisable to approach a local agent to deal with visa? I think if you, like I said, if you plan ahead, I think you should be fine. But otherwise, it's going to take you some time. Okay, I want to be very, very sensitive of the time because we've been here for more than an hour. Let me just really look through and see if there's any questions I haven't touched upon, and then I'll just take those. Okay, Emmanuel, you don't have to pay, depends which country you're applying from, but it is recommended. Okay, it's recommended for you to pay the first year school fees. All right, so a lot of these I feel like are repeated. I'm going to go through these questions, and I'm going to, if I haven't already answered it, because I'm sure you'll be able to hopefully have access to this webinar later, because I've taken a lot of these questions that are coming again and again. But for those of you who haven't, like Aishwarya, she's already left, excuse me, I will be writing into you with the answers for all of you. Naveed, I've already taken your question. I know you want to do the DBA program. That's the only doctorate program that we have. I said just write into me. It's ask@berlinsbi.com, ask@berlinsbi.com, and then I will be happy to help you. Okay, so what I'm going to do is wrap it up here because there's so many questions that are over here. We want all of you to actually join us, okay? And all of your requests are different, and I couldn't possibly take all of this unless this was like a 2-hour webinar. I am actually having an Insta live session tomorrow where I will be just doing question and answers. Okay, so if you want, you can join the live session. It's going to be on for half an hour. Come on over there for half an hour. If I haven't taken your question today, come join me there, and then I'll be happy to take questions. So thank you, everyone. I hope a lot of it has been cleared out for you. I know some of you still have very specific questions with regards to finances, with regards to IELTS. I will be writing into you with regards to what our requirements are for IELTS, for finances, things like that. But thank you again for being here. Really, really appreciate it. A lot of you have been here the entire time. But I'm going to say bye, and I hope that we hear from you. Lucy's given her email address, visaguidance@berlinsbi.com. My email address is also there. It's ask@berlinsbi.com, and we will be happy to take all of your questions. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope to see you all soon on campus. Trust me, we would love for each one of you to be there. Keep in mind, start planning ahead, and in time, I hope that you will be there for one of our really, really upcoming intakes. Thank you so much. Have a great, great day, and all the best to each one of you. Bye.